The old market of Nsude was a world of its own, loud, chaotic, bursting with life. Traders bickered, the scent of fried akara and jollof rice thickened the air, and children wove through the crowd, laughing. But amidst all the vibrant energy, one stall stood apart, not by distance, not by decor, but by something unseen, an invisible thread of silence that coiled around it like a waiting python. Mama Nkim's food store was legendary. No one could remember exactly when it appeared, but it had always been there, nestled between two aging wooden kiosks. The woman behind the counter, Mama Nkim, was a beauty that defied time. Her deep, knowing eyes held stories of centuries. Her dark skin had an unnatural glow, and her smile, warm yet unsettling, made those who met her either feel safe or deeply afraid. Her meals were irresistible. Those who tasted her special dish, the Enkay abacha, swore it was unlike anything else. They came back every day, drawn by the hunger that couldn't explain, an addiction that felt almost supernatural. Ikenna was a skeptical man, a 27-year-old university graduate with an analytical mind. He had just returned to Nsude after years in Enugu. At the moment he set his foot in the market, he felt the stall's unnatural pull. Unlike the others, he noticed how no flies hovered over the steaming dishes, how the air around the space was so still, how the chatter of the market seemed too dull when she stood too close. He wasn't a superstitious man, but curiosity was a dangerous thing. One evening, he bought a plate of Mama Nkim's food. The first bite was indescribable. Flavors unfolded like whispered secrets, a sensation that wasn't just taste, but something deeper, something primal. The third bite, the world around him blurred. His thoughts swayed as if caught in an unseen current, and that night he dreamt. But this was no ordinary dream. Ikenna found himself in an endless forest, trees taller than anything on earth, their leaves whispering his name in a voice he knew but couldn't place. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and something sweet, something rotten. In the distance, he saw figures moving, twisted, elongated, their eyes glowing like dying embers. They knelt before a figure clad in dark red, her face hidden behind the veil of smoke. It was Mama Nkim. She turned to him, and in her eyes, he saw eternity. He woke up, gasping. Shaking, Ikenna rushed to tell his childhood friend Chuka, but the reaction he received made his blood turn cold. Who? Chuka frowned. Mama Nkim? There's no one like that in this market. Ikenna thought it was a joke, but as he asked others, the response was the same. No one remembered her. The store? Empty space? The meals? Non-existent. It was as if she had never existed. Frantic, he ran back to the market, pushing through the crowded alleys until he reached the spot where he had eaten just a day before. The store was gone. Not destroyed, not abandoned, just gone, as if it had never been there at all. A sharp cold seized his spine. That night, his dreams returned, stronger, more vivid. He was back in the forest, but now the trees dripped with something dark, the figures chanting in a language his soul understood, but his mind rejected. He looked down. His hands were stained. He had eaten again. He had taken more than he should have. You belong to me now. The voice came from everywhere and from nowhere. He turned. There she stood, Mama Nkim. Her once beautiful face cracked like old pottery, her mouth stretching unnaturally as she whispered in his ear, "You fed from my hands, Ikenna. Now I feed from you." He woke up screaming, but when he tried to recall the details, his memory was failing. Pieces slipping through his fingers like water. The only thing that remained clear was the hunger, a yawning, insatiable hunger, and the feeling that he was being washed. Days turned into weeks, and Ikenna became a ghost of himself. His skin pale, his eyes darkened, and sleep invaded him. He couldn't shake the sensation that shadows moved when he wasn't looking, that his reflection sometimes smiled when he didn't. And worst of all, the whispers. They followed him, calling his name in voices too familiar. One evening, he saw her again, standing at the edge of the market, watching him with those ancient, bottomless eyes, smiling that eerie, knowing smile. Ikenna ran, but deep down, he knew the truth. He had already lost. He had already been claimed. And sometimes, hunger never lets go.